So, Matt, I know we've asked clients for questions, not only questions that we specifically answer in our coaching, but also questions for our blog posts. So, why don't you go to the raffle wheel and pick one out?
How about how do you detach yourself from things that are out of your control?
Welcome to another session of Inside Outlooks. I'm Dave Gorham, a mindset coach with a passion to make you show up as a superhero.
And I'm Matt Walley, a mindset coach with a passion for being just a little bit cooler than Dave. Join us as we take a look inside so we can change the world around us. And away we go.
You know what? That's a hell of an analogy, though.
You know what? Yeah, it is. It feels like that sometimes, right? It feels like someone has tied me to this big metal cartoon-looking ball that they just threw into the ocean.
Yeah.
And how do I detach myself from that?
Yeah.
So I think there's two ways to go with this. You can look at the detachment in the sense of something negative, right? So something that you can't let go of because it's driving you crazy, because you're pissed off at somebody, because of any number of things that way. Or it could be, I've got a goal that I want to reach, but I'm completely attached to the outcome. In other words, if it doesn't go well, it's the end of the world. How do I detach from that?
Yeah, to simplify, to dig deep into that answer, not even simplify, to actually dig deep into it, it's not just a matter of stop it, right? Stop being so attached. The first question is, are you attached? And if you are attached to the outcome, you're thinking it has to be in one certain way. The outcome must happen in that certain way. We've already made a movie about it in our head. We talked in another conversation about manifesting and visualization and contemplation, right? So this is the end result of whatever we were contemplating or reflecting on, and now we're attached to a certain outcome. If we're planning for success and it doesn't go our way, we've actually attached ourselves to it going one specific way. We haven't let go.
Right.
So the idea in using your imagination and visualization and contemplating the plan for the success, what we want to do is we want to detach from that outcome. Let's just say I'm going to win this piece of business. There's probably an infinite number of different ways that the relationship could go in order for you to win that piece of business. We tend to grab onto one specific way only because it's happened in our past. So we have evidence of. So it's actually wiping the slate clean in our imagination to think, well, I know it can work this way. Let me plan for it and put the actions in place and then go for that sale in an action world. When I think about it, I just want to win. And I will close that deal and it will feel great. And feeling great in that moment in your imagination is really the power, the emotions to it. Now you're thinking in the right direction. And you could say, all right, I know it might happen in a different way. And then I'm okay with that. And you let that go. And letting go is letting go to the energy of it. If you're holding on to the energy of it, you're holding on to it happens in one specific way.
And I think I'm reminded of another analogy that I think applies. Is if you look at any situation in life, anything that occurs in our lives can be a blessing.
Yeah.
And the example I would use is if somebody gets fired from their job today, maybe the worst thing that's ever happened to them in their life,
Yeah.
and literally may be the worst thing that's ever happened to them in their life. But somewhere in there's a positive. That also could be the door that opens for them to look for a new job that they wouldn't have previously looked for, that ends up being 100 times better for them, a better fit for them, better for their lives, better income, etc. Never would have happened without, right? And so if we always look at this is the only way it can happen, this is the only thing that's going to be a good outcome, then I think we're pigeonholing ourselves into something that we see as the best, when in reality there's so many other things out there that could be even better.
Yeah, and that's an excellent hypothetical example. I'll give you a real world example that just happened with a client recently. The longtime client working with her over previous to this past year, which just ended, right? So we have evidence of what happened, right? We had goal setting last year.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of becoming more successful after reaching those goals happens at the end of that year. Like, what do I want to do again next? The struggle that she was having was, well, I envisioned my one opportunity. I want an abundance of opportunities, and they should be in these specific areas of business. And she got them all. But in one of them that came to her, the opportunity ended up, lack of a better word, strangling the other opportunities so she couldn't grow. Mm-hmm. And we tend to be so hyper-focused looking at that, like, oh, it has to be that one certain way. Or, geez, I should be grateful because I did get that opportunity. What we didn't count on is that opportunity wasn't necessarily going to play nice with our other opportunities, right?
Sure.
So for her, it was, hey, maybe the option is we can let go of that opportunity. Is that a failure? No, you already succeeded. But if we let go of that, we've already adapted a level of stamina that when we let that go, a vacuum appears, and now something else is going to fill that vacuum, sure. Right? And visualizing what you want that to be and not attaching to it has to be one specific way. And what ended up happening with her was another opportunity came exactly on the heels of those other ones. There was no magic to it. Like, we could say it feels magical. She could say it feels magical. But if we step back, it's like, well, no, you weren't really looking at that opportunity at all.
Well, you gave it space. You gave it space to enter.
Right. Yeah. Gave it space. So
for sure. And I think that's it, right? It's when we detach ourselves from the outcome, we actually open up bigger possibilities or larger possibilities of other opportunities even coming in, or things that we never imagined were possible. So, So what's the action step, Dave?
What is the action step? The action step for me is I have no fucking idea, Matt.
I love our honesty. Well, let's see. So I think that the action step, right, is when we decide on something, when we set a goal for an opportunity, for a sales quota, for whatever it is the only thing we can control is what we're doing to achieve it. Same as I can control that I can tell you that your hair is green. Right?
It's not.
But I can't make it happen. All I can do is say that, right? And so if I want to do something, I want to achieve something, I can take action steps. But there's no guarantee what I'm doing is going to affect the rest of the world. Thanks for listening, and remember, your outside world is an inside job. See you next time. Hey, can we get 2 more over here? Make them double.